This is Sports Tonight. We're broadcasting live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. It's good to have you join us once again to talk sports. I'm Austin Okonakpan on the show tonight. We'll review badminton in Nigeria in 2019 and what are the plans for 2020. Remember, I've been letting you know that some Nigerian badminton players are seeking qualification for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. We'll find out what the federation are planning to ensure that that one happens for those three players. Also on the show tonight, we'll continue our countdown to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. How ready is Nigeria? That's a question I've been asking. I'll keep asking till the Olympic comes. We'll also take a look at what went down today in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Nasarawa United and Kano Pillars, they played, called that a Northern Derby. They shared the spoils. I'll give you the details on the show tonight. Boxing Day fixtures in the English Premier League. What a story. Mikel Arteta still looking for his first win for the Gunners. Wins for Jose Mourinho. What a surprise result for Chelsea. Chelsea fans, get in here. What's going on? What is going on? You beat Tottenham and then you lose to Southampton at home. What's going on with Chelsea and getting results at Stamford Bridge? Let's talk about it. Chelsea fans, wipe your tears. Let's have that discussion on the show tonight. We'll also take a look at what's going on with Eimba as they get ready for their CAF Confederation Cup fixture. We hear that some players will be missing. I'll give you the update on the show tonight. Nigeria's under-19 cricket team, the junior Yellow Greens, you know, about 2 weeks ago, they left the country for South Africa. They are preparing for the Under-19 Cricket World Cup. They have intensified preparations. The Nigeria Cricket Federation says they want to give them a good experience before the competition. We'll talk about it on the show. We'll take a look at the development of wheelchair basketball in Nigeria. That one is so special to us right here at Channels Television because it tells you and makes you feel the power of sports. So the president has been speaking. We'll listen to him. What are the ways to develop wheelchair basketball in the country? That's about the outlook of the show tonight. Sports Tonight on your award-winning, sports-loving Channels Television. Remember, we're still in the season of love, so let's keep showing love to everybody around us. Put a smile on someone's face. It's Boxing Day. Don't box. Don't look for trouble. Just look for somebody and give a gift and say, well done, and then stay happy. That's the essence of the season. So let's keep that going. But part of the show tonight, so much going down in our world of sports, and I want you to be part of the program. On Twitter, you can talk to us. We're Channels_sports. I've been getting some reactions from yesterday. You guys have been reacting to some of the things Olumide Oyedeji said. We took a look at basketball in a decade in Nigeria. And Olumide Oyedeji, who has been there, done that with basketball in Nigeria, was here to break down the issues for us. And you guys have been reacting to it. Keep that conversation going on Twitter, Channels_sports, Facebook, Channels-sports. You can send us an email, sportstonight@channelstv.com. Tonight on the show, we're taking a look at badminton in Nigeria. We want to review 2019 and even get Francis Obi, the president of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, to talk about badminton in Nigeria in a decade. From 2010 till date, what's the story for badminton in the country? So we'll continue to do all of these. And it is geared towards ensuring that everybody's on track, because when we get into January, then the Olympics is here. We'll talk about badminton in Nigeria tonight on the show, so be part of that discussion if you love your badminton. Also, on the show tonight, I told you, we'll take a look at the Nigeria Professional Football League. Yes, we had our own Boxing Day fixture. Nasarawa United took on Kano Pillars. Familiar foes, they know themselves so well. That one ended goalless. We'll talk about it also on the show tonight. I'll let you know what went down in the English Premier League. So I've called fans of Chelsea. Arsenal fans can also join that. Manchester United fans, they're singing ole, ole, ole now. So I know they'll be saying, no, keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after beating Newcastle 4-1. The match between Leicester City and Liverpool just kicked off. So I'll be giving you updates coming from that match. I know it will be interesting. We've got two Nigerians in that one, Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi. You can be part of the program. On Twitter, I told you we're Channels_sports. Facebook, Channels-sports. You can send us an email to sportstonight@channelstv.com. All our top stories can be viewed on our website. It's channelstv.com. And on YouTube /channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com. Download the Channels TV app for any of those devices that you see on your screen, and you will be able to be part of the program tonight. It's a recipe, action-packed world of sports. What are you talking about? We want to review the performance of badminton in Nigeria. But before we get into that, let's touch base with the Junior Yellow Greens. Who are they? The Junior Yellow Greens. That's Nigeria's under-19 cricket team. So if you know the Super Eagles, you know the Super Falcons, you know the Golden Eaglets, you should also know the Junior Yellow Greens, Nigeria's under-19 cricket team. They will participate in the Cubs Week in Pretoria, South Africa, as they intensify preparations for the under-19 Cricket World Cup. So, look, Federation says go. 50 days to the competition, they were already in Johannesburg. Now they're going to take part in this competition in Pretoria. The team will face Dolphins cricket team in their opening match on January the 4th. They will also square up against the Lions cricket team a day later. The national under-19 team will wrap up their Cubs Week with a clash against Titans cricket team. They are getting ready. I love it. Nigeria will play in Group B alongside Australia, England, and West Indies at the Under-17 Cricket World Cup that will take place in South Africa from January the 17th till February the 9th. Updates for you, information that you can use, particularly if you love cricket and you're following cricket at the grassroots in Nigeria. We love this one so much because it is one that can actually enable the Nigeria Cricket Federation to plan and see ways that some of these players, years from now, they can evolve into senior national team players, and then we keep it going for the development of cricket in the country. I love it so much. Let's keep talking about this one. Let's talk about wheel basketball in Nigeria. I covered the second edition of the national wheelchair basketball competition right here in Lagos. It was good because whenever these basketballers come out to play, it is not just for the game. It is to inspire you and I. Look at them, confined to wheelchairs, yet they can dream, yet they're passionate about sports, and they're doing it playing basketball. And one major problem that has been hindering the growth of wheelchair basketball in Nigeria is funding. And after funding, because if you deal with funding, you can be able to now travel. For instance, they've been looking for funds to go to South Africa to participate in the Paralympics qualifiers. So if they don't turn up, what will be their chance of qualifying? Zero. But if we have a league, for instance, 6 teams featured at this one. Oluyole Warriors, they defeated Nilayo in the final. There was Bose Kafo Club also. There was Nollard. But 6 of them. So it means if we have a league, these guys will be busy. And it is beautiful. Just look at them. Special athletes are still coming out to showcase their God-given talent. The president of the federation has been speaking on the National League and ways we can develop wheelchair basketball in Nigeria. Let's listen to him. We'll be right back.
Before I came in, Nigeria had a debt with both the African and international wheelchair basketball federations. It is just in the coming of this minister that we're able to defray the debt. I've defrayed that debt, so it means we can compete in any tournament. You know, but because the time is too short, the minister does not want to start carrying teams that are not very, that are medal hopefuls. And for Nigeria that have not participated in any tournament for 2 years, I know we cannot boast of our stature now. So with the kind of encouragement the minister has given to us by defraying our debt, it means that we are sure that better things will come for wheelchair basketball. A regular league is my desire. But a regular league, first of all, has to have well-sustained clubs. It is when you have well-sustained clubs that you now be able to put them on a regular league. So what we have nowadays is this ad hoc championship. So that, it's not too expensive to gather people for about 5 days and play a tournament. But to now put a regular league, which is my desire, which will involve a lot of traveling and everything for the teams.
So that's it, the development of wheelchair basketball in Nigeria Federation, talking about the prospect of a national league. I think that will make a whole lot of difference. And it shouldn't just be wheelchair basketball having this push. We've got special athletes everywhere in the country. It should be para sports, actually. Para powerlifting, they've been busy. Wheelchair basketball, they were busy last weekend. Para table tennis, they were also busy. We know at some point para badminton was busy. Para athletics also need to be busy because if we bring all of them together, they will tell us a beautiful story about the power of sports and how we can feel it and be inspired. I love that one so much. We'll continue to monitor the development of para sports in Nigeria. Let's continue our countdown to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. 210 more days to go. 210. And as 2019 is gradually saying goodbye, 2020 will come with a full force to say, look, the Olympics is here. 210 days to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Is Nigeria ready? Are the federations ready? The athletes, are they ready? Are they well trained to compete amongst the best of athletes in the world? Our coaches, are they well equipped? Are they well trained? How ready is Nigeria? The Ministry of Youth and Sports, what are we doing after all of the talks? So it's question and answer time for Nigeria as we count down to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. 210 more days to go. We love the vibes from the athletes, from the Ministry of Youth and Sports. How can I say Athletics Federation of Nigeria? Athletics Federation of Nigeria is 210 days to go. Yes. When will peace come to that federation? If the house is divided, how can you plan 210 more days to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics? Come on, don't tell me it's a whole lot of days. It is already here. Yes, less than 7 months. Are we going to add to the numbers? Are we ready to do things differently? Our athletes fired up to impress? Is it going to be same of the same? Let's put words to action, because a lot of things have been said as regards the Olympics. But I'm here to let you know that it's 210 more days to go. It's the best of the best coming together to compete. Olumide Oyedeji was on this show last night, and he says you need to have 10,000 hours of practice time first to be at the Olympics, because somebody is putting more than that into his basketball. So if you cannot meet up 10,000 hours, just know you cannot compete with such a fellow. But it's all about the day Tigress. We asked him last night, can they qualify for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics? Olumide Oyedeji was here, and this is what he had to say. Let's listen to him.
I believe that they made progress, but we could have still done better. I'm very happy. That's the first time that the African team got to the quarterfinals of the World Cup in women. And I was so proud when I got to the FIA and the FIBA meeting, like, people were Nigeria, we got you from 2016, you got it 2017, we had 2018 World Cup. I mean, I was like, okay, all right.
That's it.
So, you know, but probably because that's a team that put together. So I probably know that because if we had about 2-3 more players to what we have players everywhere. Yeah. So imagine we had like Gloria Johnson play WNBA, who were ready to play for us, we were able to get her play. Talking about WNBA All-Star, I'll put her in that mix. We're talking about 2 or 3 players. We can still make a difference in that team. So we probably believe we could still do it better. Call it spade a spade. The worst case scenario, we just need to win a game. 3 teams are going to qualify out of their group. Nigeria, Serbia, and USA are my picks. Because I know that we put things together. There's no that, I would probably just go to bed. But you know what? But yeah. I'm pretty sure and confident that we're going to pick a ticket.
So Olumide Oyedeji is super confident Nigeria will pick a ticket to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics in women's basketball. And it will be record-breaking because it will be the first time Nigeria will have a team for the men and the women at the Olympics in basketball. So we're rooting for them. We need to root for them. Olumide, I said, look, is over 100% sure that they will pick the ticket. We don't have football at the Olympics this time around. No men, no women. Football. They will sit at home and watch. So it will be good for basketball to have the men's team and the women's team. The men's team, they've already qualified. So shout out to the D Tigers. The D Tigers, they've been impressive in 2019. I love them so much. The women's team, they always deliver back-to-back Afro-Basket champions. They won it in 2017. Senegal said, oh, we are hosting in 2019. You think you can come here and beat them? They defeated Senegal. Yes, right there. there in their house a ticket, and then they emerged champions of the Afro-Basket. And they've been busy before the Afro-Basket. So they've been playing several competitions. Let's see when that one tips off. February 2020, Olympics qualifiers. They're in the same group with the United States, Serbia, and of course, Mozambique. Olympics said 3 teams. That's who will pick the tickets will be Nigeria, United States of America, and Serbia. Still in the spirit of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, we've decided to review sports in Nigeria in 2019 and then preview and no plans for 2020. Because each time I say 2020, now it's Olympics that just comes to my brain. And that's why we want to take a look at badminton in Nigeria in the last decade. But we'll give more attention to 2019 and 2020. I have the president of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria, Mr. Francis Obi, with me in the studio. Francis Obi, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Thank you very much.
And Merry Christmas.
The same to you.
Good. It's going to be a long discussion tonight, talking about basketball and its development in Nigeria. And you've been in this scene for quite some time. So let's take a look at badminton in Nigeria in a decade from 2010 till date. Have we been making progress?
Well, it depends on from what angle you are looking at it. I would say yes, especially with the past 2 years since we came on board. We've improved on what we met on ground, and we've taken it to a much higher level. Let me just put it that way. So I can say that we've made progress.
We've made progress. Let's take a look at badminton in Nigeria in 2019. Give us an overview.
2019 was quite tough, I would say, and I will tell you why. You know, we came in July 2017, so we ran like half of the year to the end. And 2018, we tried to do so many things. And, you know, if you put it against the background of, you know, the past few years where we didn't have, you know, as much activity in the game. So 2018 was quite huge. Now, the challenge of 2019 was sustainability, trying to sustain what we were able to do in 2018. And of course, we had a big challenge with hosting the All Africa for the first time in 19 years. That was a very big one, the flagship event of badminton Africa, as it were, which we have not done in 19 years, and it was a big challenge. So basically, I would say 2019, yeah, it was tough, trying to sustain the tempo of 2018. You know, we just came in and we hit the ground running and we did so much. So 2019 was challenging.
Yeah, I say challenging. I want to pick up one thing that made it so challenging. What is it?
I would say hosting the All-African Seniors in Port Harcourt was a huge challenge. And that is, even with all the effort we made at, you know, 2018, December, we had the first Rivers Governors National Championship. That championship was meant to be a kind of test run because we've not had All Africa Seniors in Nigeria in 19 years. Wow. And then 2, we're going to host that championship at a venue that we've never done before. No championship has ever taken place in Nigeria where you had 6 courts in the hall at the same time. No, that was the biggest we've had. So we had to do a test run. And, but I can tell you that, you know, when, for us as a board, some of the things that were a bit scary was the experience of the athletics meet in Asaba, the challenges, and that was because there was no direct flight to any of these venues, either Port Harcourt or Asaba, international. Now, yeah, there's an international flight to Port Harcourt, but you know it was an African event, so everybody was coming from the continent, Africa. So only Abuja and Lagos had direct flights from some African.
So moving around was a problem.
Yes, moving. Yes.
I'll still come back to that challenge because we need to understand it so that when we meet it again, we'll know how to approach it. So just hang in there. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at badminton in Nigeria in 2019 and also take a look at the plans of the Federation for 2020. We've got the President, Francis Obi, with us. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll continue where we stopped. So don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning, sports-loving channels television. We're taking a look at badminton and its development in Nigeria. I've got the president, Mr. Francis Obi, in the studio, and we've been talking about some of the challenges that they overcame in 2019. 2019, also, Nigeria finished tops, Francis, at the Africa Badminton Championships and the African Games. How did we achieve that?
Well, it was preparation. I'll tell you that because we recognize that aspect from the very beginning. When we came in, we realized that we're not putting enough effort into preparation for the team whenever we were going for competition. So we tried to do that, and every time we did, we always did well. So I can tell you that if we do better in preparation, we will definitely do better when we go for our competitions. So basically that was it. But if I want to do a quick overview of 2019, I'll tell you that today we are talking about 3 players that are on the verge of qualifying for the Olympics. Qualification for Olympics didn't start today. For us, we knew they needed to be somewhere before they can even dream of qualification. So we had to start that job. Early this year, they played Uganda, Kenya International.
We're in Ghana.
Before Ghana, it was after Uganda and Kenya we played the All-African Seniors. And, you know, all those championships, they were garnering points to improve their world ranking, because the moment the qualification period starts, it is where it's not going to be 0 for everybody. Where you are in the world ranking is where you start your qualification from. So they needed to be in a good position. So we had to start early. So it wasn't a question of we waited for when Olympic qualifiers actually started. So we did that. Then after the All-African Seniors, of course, we did very well. And I will say something as a kind of, to highlight some of the things we did in the year. In the 2 major championships we had, the All-African Seniors and the Lagos International, we had umpires courses that were conducted by officials of the Badminton World Federation. And during those courses, our participants wrote exams. And, you know, which led to 2 of our umpires that were invited to the All-African Games. It has not happened in a very long time. So for us as a board, we recognize that, yes, the players, we want them to do well, we need to prepare them, but the technical aspect of the game has to move side by side. So the umpires, the coaches, which is why also this year we had the Shuttle Time course for coaches. We had Shuttle Time tutors and teachers course in Abuja, immediately after the Para-Badminton workshop. So every aspect of the game, so for us, it's a total package. It's not just focusing on the players. So after the Lagos All-African Senior, we had the West African Circuit. This was the 3rd year we were doing that. And, you know, this has exposed a lot of our players, apart from the 3 who are on the verge of Olympic qualification. We've always, every year, and, you know, because of the proximity, we talk to Lagos State Government, Sports Commission, and for 3 years now, they've assisted us with buses, and we just drive across the border. Since we can't afford to buy air tickets for a lot of people, they go with a bus, we go Benin Republic, Ghana, and they go there to play, and these players garner points. I can tell you that the West African circuit has contributed largely to where we find those 3 players today, because what they did in those 3 championships shot them up in the world ranking. So after that, it was after the West African circuit, we came back to Lagos. At the Lagos International, we had the umpires course, like I said, and from the exams done in Port Harcourt and Lagos, we were able to get some, at least the African body, for the first time in a long time, invited 2 of our umpires to come and officiate at the All-African Games. And when they were there, they did the exams again, and they did very well. So right now, they are accredited. Good. So we want more of our umpires to go to the African level and possibly go to the World Federation to begin to officiate at World Championships and all that.
Because they can come back and then impact that knowledge,
yes, definitely.
To the coaches. Is funding still an issue?
Oh, a great one. A very, very great one. And, you know, sometimes when I try to go through some of the things we've done this year, I look back and I'm like, how did we achieve? I mean, how did we do it? It's like squeezing water out of a rock. Funding has been a major and a huge challenge. We thank God for the African body that has You know, what they did was to identify some players in the African continent, about 6 of them, and out of that 6, 3 are from Nigeria.
Good.
And they put them on the Road to Tokyo program. So they selected about 4 internationals within the continent, which they sponsored them to. And they now told every federation of the countries these players come from that will help you with this number. But we know they need far more than those internationals to qualify for it. So you now have to do the rest, which is why, as we speak, after the All-African Games, they have been to Cameroon, they went to Egypt, they went to Algeria, international, they went to, one of them went to Zambia and South Africa.
Yeah, that's Dakar.
Now, the 3 of them went to Turkey. And after Turkey, 2 of them, that's Godwin and Anu, are in Denmark right now in camp.
Anu and Godwin.
So Dorcas is back, and she will train and go back in January for Estonia and Swedish international. Anu and Godwin, since they're already in Europe, will play those. And then they all come back home to join the rest of the team to prepare for the All-African Seniors, taking place in Egypt in February. We are going there to defend our title, and it's an Olympic qualifier.
Yeah.
And now let me tell you the importance of the championship in Egypt this February. That championship is also the qualifier for the Thomas and Uber Cup. Thomas is the men team event, and Uber is the women's team event. Now, whoever wins the team events in Egypt in February will represent Africa at the Thomas and Uber Cup in Denmark. That will be taking place around May. Now, the opportunity is there. We've been to Thomas Cup before. The last time we went was in 2010. So next year we'll make it 10 years since we last qualified for the Thomas Cup. We've never been to Uber.
Wow.
Our female team has never attended the Uber Cup. So if we are able to, our target and our goal is to clinch the 2 team events tickets in Egypt. And that will be record-breaking, the first time. And so when you were talking about the D Tigers and the D Tigers now, it resonated with me because it's going to be the first time, and we're really going to try. And we stand a very good chance because right now, our female team is reasonably strong enough. We think we can take on any African.
I will get to that. You just confirmed that funding is still an issue. So, Francis Obi, if it's still an issue, tell me, how have we been able to sustain the national championships?
You know, the national championships, we've had 3 editions of each one of them now, 2. We intend to increase the numbers this year, this 2020, because we feel 2 national championships are not enough to keep the players busy. At least a minimum, we should have 1 every quarter. So we should have like 4. But right now we have 2. And then, which is the other area that is really a huge gap, is the age grade. We don't want to leave that under 15, under 19, because that's the feeder.
That's right.
You know, we must prepare those who will step into the shoes of Anu and Godwin when their playing days are over. So that's another area we want to look at. So for the national championships, you know, they are sponsored. And the 2 organizations have sustained them for 3 years.
Good.
So that area basically has been covered.
And they like what they're saying.
That's why they, you know, the first editions, we just went to approach them. We didn't approach them to make it annual events. We spoke to them, and at the closing ceremonies, they on their own decided and announced that they will make them annual events because of the quality of the events that we were able to put together. So basically, those have been, we've been very lucky that at least we have 2 national championships that are sponsored and they are running. We want to get more, so we are going to keep talking, and which is why the program that was recently embarked upon by the Honorable Minister, you know, is very exciting to us, the ADOPT program. It's something we have been trying to do it at our own level, but to come from that level, I think is going to be good for sports generally, and we hope to benefit from it as a sport, that's badminton now. So where we'll be able to target some corporate bodies. And I think corporate Nigeria needs to rally around the new minister. I can tell you that the vibes are very positive. It's come with a totally different approach, and trying to win the confidence of the private sector is very key. I can tell you that's been a challenge, because most times you go to places, they believe that if they give you money, most of it will not be judiciously spent, and it will not be accounted for. So that thing is there, and you need to do. That's why when we started, we were just putting things together here and there, just to let people see that things can be done properly. And gradually, you are beginning to win the confidence of people, and they are beginning to get their trust. And then with time, they will be ready to give more, because they see that you are able to. They are seeing value in what you are doing. So basically, I think the Honorable Minister has started well, and he needs the support of everybody. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, when that confidence is built, it will be to the benefit of all of us, which are the sporting federation. So we need to rally around him and see what we can do. So funding is still a major challenge, and government can never do it alone. Never. So the private sector is still a very, and that is why also we're excited by the, the new minister just signed an MOU with the Nigeria Economic Summit Group to see how sports can be run like business.
That's right.
It's a
That's what we've been saying, and you said something vital, that these sponsors want to see accountability, they want to see credible leadership, so everything rises and falls on leadership. Your board came in place, and badminton is busy now, so if they like what they see, the private sector will definitely come into it. Let's talk about the players. So in the last 7 years, I think 7 years ago, Jim Kambulus, we're talking about him. They bring it down to Enejo Abba, also doing well. Now we're talking about Anu Okpeyori, put Clement Akrobapo in that mix also, put Godwin Olofua now. For the ladies, we'll talk about Dorcas Adeshokan, of course. Talk about Deborah. So we take up these names I've just mentioned, and we'll be able to discover quality players, particularly using the national championships as a model.
Well, what has happened, you were talking about the female players. I think you left somebody out, Grace.
Grace. That's right.
Daniel.
She was away for
Grace
some
Gabriel.
time. Yeah.
We had two Graces.
Yeah.
Grace Gabriel. She was away for further studies, and so that her game dropped. But it's a very good thing. She won the last championship in Katsina. So she has sent a very strong message, even though Dorcas was not there. She has made it very interesting. Everybody is now looking forward to when Dorcas will be around, and Grace are going to meet, and it's going to happen. I can tell you that it's something that is likely to happen very soon. Okay. And it's like the old brigade. She's coming back to take her position, and there's somebody who is occupying it right now and says, no, there's no vacancy here. You just have to, I think your time is over. But she's come back very strong, and we are very, very happy because she's come to strengthen our female team. Okay. She's come to, because we need, the Thomas and Uber Cup is team event. So you have to be good in all the events. Singles, we have 3. Doubles, you have 2. So you must win 3 of those events for you to emerge champion. So for us, Grace coming back into the mix is a very good development and a very welcome one for the Federation. And we are very happy about it. Yeah. Now, discovering of new talent. Yeah. We also give kudos to the sports ministry. In the past 2-3 years, they introduced the youth games. And I can tell you that has been a breeding ground for us. The youth games in Ilorin, I think it was 2017 or so, the crop of players that were discovered there, I can tell you those are the players that went for the African Youth Games in Algeria last year, where they did very well. December last year, they were in Ghana for the African Schools Championships, which Nigeria was attending for the first time in badminton. We've never attended. Yeah. And we swept almost everything. So what point am I making? That as Anu and Godwin, and and then you also mentioned Enejo, Clement, and these are the senior players who are still in the team because of their experience. I can tell you, when we were in Algeria, those guys rose to the occasion. I mean, a lot of respect for them, especially Enejo, who is the national captain. He's been a very, very good leader. He should, he leads by example. He doesn't tell you go on. He goes there to execute when you need it, right? So you see that, So we decided to have that mix, experience and youth. So sometimes when the thing gets very hot and the experienced ones see that their strength can't go. They call the young ones who are, go and get this done, and they tell them what to do. So, and that has worked for us. So we are also trying to, even the next generation of players. Yeah. We have a Sofiat from Kwara. Okay. I can tell you that girl is going to step into Dorcas's shoes in the nearest future. That's right. She's one of those bright ones we have. We have Ramotu from FCT. We have Zainab, also from Kwara. And then we have Jumoke from Ondo. Those are young players who are coming up, and they are ready to go. That's now, for the young ones, we have a crop of young male players. You know, Balarabe, who is the captain of the junior team from Bauchi. I can tell you that guy is on fire. But, you know, we need to be able to bring these people to camp, keep them consistently in a place, and then let them play. One very sad thing that happened recently was we were to go to defend the title we won in Ghana last year, the schools championship in Zambia, but we couldn't go. We had issues with funding, and we had issues with trying to, you know, get them to get their visas. And we were to play in South Africa, junior international. Some of the players were to play there, and from there to Zambia. So their passports were submitted at the South African embassy, and we couldn't have them out before the Zambia trip. So, I mean, they were all ready to go, even though we were not very satisfied with this, with their preparation, but we still felt that they were going to do well. But at the end of the day, so at this stage, they need to be exposed to those championships. It's not when they get to the senior level, that's when they start experiencing it. They need to start going, and for us, that is the way to go.
And the federation must be able to put together competitions that will get them busy. Let's talk about 2020. What are the plans?
2020. Our major focus for 2020 is the qualification for the Olympics. So we are going to get into the year. They will go into camp immediately after the New Year break. All the national senior team players will go to camp to prepare for Egypt in February. We are going there to defend our title, and we want to go for the Thomas Anduba Cup for the first time, as a, you know, going with the male and female teams. And then after that, of course, after the All-African Seniors, we are now going to make sure that the players who are on the verge of qualification play the available championships to put them in a position for qualification. Qualification closes in April. And of course, the Lagos International is still going to take place in July by God's grace. And so after that, they will be heading for the Olympics, if and when they do qualify. So basically, after that, we will now look at the domestic level, which is trying to, like I said, we are trying to increase the number of national championships, the seniors, and then we want to go after the age grade. But one major thing we are looking at in 2020 is going to be groundbreaking. We want to launch the Shuttle Time.
That's right. So just stay right there with the Shuttle Time, because I was waiting for you to mention that. Sports Tonight on Channels Television, we're taking a look at badminton in Nigeria. We're reviewing activities in 2019. Let's go on this quick break now. When we come back, what's Shuttle Time all about? Francis Obi will tell us, so don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at badminton in Nigeria. Francis Obi is the president of the Badminton Federation of Nigeria. He's still with us. You're telling us about the launch of the Shuttle Time. What's it about?
Well, Shuttle Time is a program introduced by the Badminton World Federation deliberately to take badminton back to schools. And it's a very comprehensive program, which is why, like I mentioned earlier, we had a Shuttle Time course, which was taken by some BWF officials that came here. We had the tutors and then the teachers. So the tutors are like the trainers who are going to help us train teachers in schools that will begin to implement the programming. So basically, we are going to introduce badminton to those schools, support them with equipment, net poles, nets, rackets, shuttles, and then we take their games masters for courses. We must teach them what they are going to teach the children. So when we start it, they'll start training them after those trainings, and then we organize competitions for selected schools at the state level, zonal, and then the national. So eventually, whoever wins this Shuttle Time competition will now represent Nigeria at the African Schools Championship. That is what
so that will be the benchmark now for picking the
team.
Beautiful. So the world body is supporting this.
Oh, very well. very well.
Sounds good. And before we move on, let's just touch on coaches. Since you mentioned that you also train the coaches for the Shuttle Time, the national team coaches, where are they in terms of training?
Well, they are not where we want them to be or where we think they should be, but that's another area we're going to look at this year. Not only coaches, but even the umpires. Like I know, for us, it's a total package.
Yeah.
We're not focusing on only the players, also the technical department of the game. So coaches and umpires, they need to move. So we are going to help the two associations to see that they have courses to help sharpen the skills of their various members. So both coaches, and we are looking at having an exchange program with China, where some of our national coaches will go there for an exchange program, go spend some days, and then we'll bring in some resource people to also come take them on some coaching courses. It's very critical because a player is only as good as what the coach is able to impact on them. So basically, that is an area we're also looking at. Yeah. And we are also, for this year, it was something we promised during our campaigns, and we want to see if we can implement this year. We want to institute the Badminton Hall of Fame. Okay. And that is, so it's going to be like, at the end of the year, we'll have a badminton festival where we'll have both active and veterans. It will be the largest gathering of badminton stakeholders. And at the end of it, after the competition, we'll have awards night, and then we'll be inducting somebody into the Badminton Hall of Fame every year. Either as an administrator or a player or a coach. People who have contributed to the growth and development of the game. It's a major thing we want to do, and it's something we are looking at seriously.
Way to motivate even the upcoming players that someday they can be in that Hall of Fame.
And then the last thing for this 2020, we are going to focus on, encouraging our players to go to school. So we are pushing. We started the process this year, trying to process some scholarship we got for them. We've made quite some progress, and we are hoping that this 2020 we'll be able to finalize it. Where at least 12 of our young players will be going out there. As they are studying, they are also training. Education for us is very key. We are looking at getting to a point where we say if you are not in school, we will not allow you to play badminton. Because you must, take your studies very seriously. There's life after badminton, and the foundation to that life is education. So
awesome. This is really heartwarming. So we will monitor all of this in 2020 and say BFN, when we're not seeing any of this, to remind you that you said it's Shuttle Time will be launched. You get the players to go to school, you train the coaches, and hopefully we'll qualify for the Olympics. Definitely. 2020 will be busy. That's it. So we'll just put a pause on badminton now. Let me tell you what's going on right there in the English Premier League. It's Leicester City 0, Liverpool 1. Roberto Firmino are giving Liverpool the lead in that one. We'll get to it. Let's just run through what's going on with sports, football in Nigeria. Enyimba Football Club of Abade will be without 6 of their key players for Sunday's CAF Confederation Cup away clash against Algeria's Aparado AC. Goalkeeper Theophilus Afelokai, Ifeanyi Anemena, Nelson Ogbonnaya, Ruben Bala, Thomas Zenke and Dario Latunji have all been ruled out of the game due to injuries. The People's Elephant, what will they do? 6 vital players. Second choice goalkeeper Olufemi Kayode is also nursing an injury, while captain of the team, Andrew Abalagu, is also doubtful for the game. Who will now play for Enyimba? Enyimba placed second in Group D with 3 points after recording 1 win and a defeat from their opening 2 matches. Ooh, tough time for Enyimba. Let's see. It's football where impossible is nothing. So other players will get an opportunity to play and then try to impress the coach. Let's take a look at results from Boxing Day fixture in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Nasarawa United and Kano Pillars played goalless. I told you they are familiar foes. So that's one. No mistakes. Kano Pillars still going strong, still unbeaten since the return of charismatic Rabiu Ali, their captain. So let's see. Let's rush to the English Premier League, where there were good wins for Tottenham and, of course, Southampton. Mikel Arteta's reign as Arsenal manager started with a draw against Bournemouth. So some of the results coming from the English Premier League. Chelsea fans don't want to see that result. No. Everton defeated Burnley 1-0. That one will motivate Carlo Ancelotti. Sheffield United won. Watford won. Manchester United crushed Newcastle United 4-1. And the fans are singing ole ole, I told you. And Liverpool won against Leicester City. That's how far we can go. football. Thank you so much, Francis Obi, for your time. What club do you support? You follow football?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. Oh, accept my condolences.
Condolences.
For now. Thank you so much, Francis Obi. So that's the show. Remember, you can keep talking to us on Twitter, our channels _sports, Facebook channels _sports. That's the show for the team. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.